वेलकम टू द शो भाई. हाय. सो अमोद, जो तेरा बिजनेस है अबाउट मैक्सिकन मसाला एंड जो सेकंड पार्ट है उसका, उसकी जो तुम ब्रांडिंग कर रहे हो ना, इट्स वेरी यूनिक. आज मैंने देखा ही नहीं अभी तक ऐसी कंपनीज को इंडिया में ब्रांडिंग करते हुए. एंड इट्स रियली क्रेजी दैट यू आर डूइंग. सो ये आइडिया आया कहाँ से दैट यू वांटेड टू गेट मैक्सिकन फूड टू इंडिया? So how did the idea generate for you?
So basically, after college, went off to Goa for a year to work, and there it was very Southeast Asian centric food that we were doing, very fine dine oriented. And then I came back, and I was honestly like burnt out. I was majorly considering not to, go ahead in the industry and switch out. So I was trying to join my dad's business. He's a doctor, so I was going to manage the hospital and stuff. But I got into that for like about 2 months and then realized it's not for me at all. I got super bored. And luckily at the time, my elder brother, who was a partner in the business, he came to me with this idea, why don't we do something? Even he's back. He wasn't here for a lot of years. He's back. So we had this idea, and then mainly deciding on Mexican, and the entire process was very research oriented, looking at what the food scene is in Pune like, what is it lacking, what people like more, and came down to a conclusion of Mexican, because Mexican and Indian are very close in terms of flavors and your spices, and a lot of them are pretty similar to each other. So came up with that, and that's why we came up with Mexican masala, which is a little fusion oriented food and something that is more acceptable to the Indian market, Pune market, because Pune mein we've realized over time that very difficult to break the chain of the regular food that they're very comfortable eating. Takes a little time, so with the fusion aspect, it works out a little easier.
So you mentioned a point earlier stating that you got bored and then you joined your family business. But when we talk about restaurants or food industry, this business is very passion driven business. Like because you have to repeat the same thing again and again, again and again. You make the same dish, I think so, for 100 times, 200 times. So what made you realize ki I can do this over and over again? Because doing the same thing again and again, it requires a lot of discipline, maintaining the same taste.
Yeah.
So what's your take on that?
So yes, it is very passion driven. If you don't have passion, you will not survive. It'll be like another job then for you, because if you're not very passionate about it, you're going to burn out. That's what eventually happened to me at some point. I was too done with it, so I was like, I can't. But just took a little time, but I got back to the main track of what I really got into this for. And creating dishes, keeping it consistent is what is required. We have this saying in the industry that consistency is death, but there are two factors to it. Consistency in death is death basically works out in terms of no evolution or no experimentation in your menus. You're doing the same old things for like years on years. And the other part, whatever new stuff you come up with, you have to be consistent in terms of taste, the way it looks. Like the first dish of service that you send out, the way it looks, the last dish that you send out of service also has to look the same, cannot be any different. That is what we look at consistency, and that's what we say in that aspect. Yeah.
So talking about, you said about innovation, right? So Mexican food in India was brought by Taco Bell was there that was doing, but people didn't like it much. So, personally, also I didn't like that brand, the taste and everything. So what different you are doing that people will start liking the Mexican food, the burrito ball, the taco?
Firstly, when Taco Bell came in, it became they didn't come in with like tacos as such. It was like hard shell tacos, mayonnaise and lettuce, which really is not there in Mexican. So what we are doing is we specialize in soft shell tacos, and our main aspect is taking inspiration and ingredients from authentic Mexican dishes and trying to recreate and give it our own take on it, which is a little more Indian oriented for the market, and works out a little easier. Taste is a little more palatable for people, and that's more relatable, to be honest. So one of the aspects of R&D that we were doing is we went to a lot of food joints which are like very legendary, like Kapila, Kati Kebab and stuff like that, and tried out what they have, and thought of a dish where we could replicate the taste, and but not look at it ki people are like, oh, it's Kapila. but have our own take on it, which is a close combination, keeping both the cuisines intact and not kind of, making a mess of it. So, it worked out easier with that.
As you said about Mexico, like I have been in Mexico. I stayed there for around 9 to 10 months. I had gone for a cultural exchange program, and I've tasted the original food जो Mexican होता है, especially जो salsas होते हैं, and they are really spicy, and it matches the Indian spiciness level. So when we were there, मेक्सिको में जैसे काउस बहुत खाते हैं बट इंडिया में प्रॉब्लम वी कांट हैव इट बिकॉज ऑफ द रिलीजियस थिंग बट सो हाउ डू यू हैव चेंज दैट व्हाट आर यू प्रोवाइडिंग इंस्टेड ऑफ दैट
Our menu changes according to events. We keep changing it, try to keep it as fresh as possible for every new event that we do. It also pushes us for creating new dishes all the time. And coming up with these challenges, we have lamb as an alternative. We use buff. Buff is legal, so we use that. And if you're traveling to states like Goa or something like that where beef is legal, we do use that there because it keeps the authenticity of the dish. But there are always substitutes that you can work out, and they work better sometimes.
Talking about your events, so what's your plan with Mexican masala? And you're going to have events, you want to come up with restaurants, how is
So Mexican masala is fully pop-ups and event-based company. We do private catering and stuff as well. So it's been like a year and a half now that we're doing it, and we've done a whole bunch of events. We're learning every time with new events. So plan for Mexican masala is hopefully to shift into a physical outlet by next year, and start off from there, have a base foundation set up, and continue our events that we do because that's what we are known for. So we'll have one consistent menu that keeps changing every other month, a couple of dishes, and our events and pop-ups continue as they do, and we grow on from there. So that's the plan. And Grub Genius is a very niche fine dine oriented concept, so that is only for events and pop-ups where we have sit down dinners. We're doing 8 course meals and stuff like that. We've done a couple of them already, so that is what we're mainly focusing on. So we're keeping that Grub Genius aspect to the fine dine thing just there right now. We're focusing more on Mexican masala and trying to expand our branch a little. Yeah.
So as you said, you want to come up with a physical store. What do you think कि पुणे का जो होटल इंडस्ट्री है, रेस्टोरेंट इंडस्ट्री एंड जैसे रियल एस्टेट के रेट्स भी हाई जाते जा रहे हैं बिकॉज ओनिंग अ रेस्टोरेंट इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट मैनेजिंग इट इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट लोगों को लगता है इट्स अ इजी जॉब बट इट इज नॉट एट ऑल इजी so what is going to be a strategy for opening a restaurant or
So when we initially started keeping it a cloud kitchen and events and pop-ups based, one good thing was it kept our overheads very minimum. So we could survive very easily, and the place that we're operating out of is our own place. We're not paying rent on that currently. So it works out very easy that way. But we also realized that because we're doing only event to event, the deficit in the middle and the payout cycles that come in from the events, cause a delay. So if you have 4 lined up and, the payments haven't come in, we have a deficit for the next event. So we have to fill that up. So that is something that we've been facing, over some time now. And going to a physical outlet makes more sense, more visibility, because a cloud kitchen there are so many, and the amount you have to spend on marketing ads online from Zomato and Swiggy is just insane, and there is no fixed returns on that. So it's always a better gamble to go in a physical outlet. The costs are high, no doubt. It's very expensive to even run a small little joint, and the concept that we have, it has to be in like Koregaon Park, Kalyani Nagar or something like that. Won't run otherwise. So rent prices are insane, but you have to kind of build your budget that you can cover all the expenses and the operating costs for at least a year, and then only we can go ahead with it. Because in that much time we can fill up with our customers, and then the rotational cycle starts for income coming in from that. Slow process, but yeah.
okay, so thinking about restaurants or something, have you ever thought of like I don't know if you remember the company Theka Coffee. Okay, so it's a coffee a brand. So what they had done is they sell coffee, freshly brewed coffee in bottles, and yeah, and they had their own what we standee jaisa they have made, like a coffee shape. They have made a standee. In that, they sell coffee. So they have cut their overhead expenses like anything, and they are right now 100 CR company. So you can think something about that. That will be a good thing for you. That's a suggestion, because mostly the Mexican food that is there is mostly a fast food thing, not a proper. I feel that.
That's what even we were looking at, to be more of a QSR where you just come in, pick up, and you leave. That's what it is, and we're trying to keep it as authentic as possible, like a cantina where you just come, take it, you go eat on the roadside, keep it as authentic as possible. Yeah.
When you go for events or something like that, there are many the team people are involved, and there are many things that go into it. Do you have any funny story about it?
Oh man, so many. Every event we've had something going on, and so our core team is very small. It's just Vishesh, Angad, and one guy called Rahul. So Angad is our social media guy. Vishesh and I work in the kitchen, and Rahul helps us out event to event. So our team is very small, and all the prep A to Z, everything right from buying to cleaning vessels is done only from the four of us. And one of the incidents was ki we had this private event at Chakan last year for December 31st, and it was like a very elaborate thing. They wanted a five course dinner, they wanted Mexican food, and they wanted a kids menu. So our kitchen at the time was in Kharadi, so we had to pick up everything and like shift the entire thing there. Did that and realized one of our main dishes for the sit down menu, which was a coin idli, which we had got, we had forgotten it at the kitchen, and it was in the middle of nowhere. And luckily, I had a guy on hand at the time, so sent him immediately. He went like 15-20 kilometers away to get a couple of idlis at like 9 o'clock at night, which is very difficult in that area, but managed it somehow, and then got it done, worked out well. But the other thing is also, no event kind of goes well unless you forget something at the end, and then you can't start thinking a little more.
That makes you think something innovative can also come up that way, and you can innovate something. So that's a very good thing. But every event teacher must have taught you something.
Yeah, definitely. It teaches quite a bit.
So any lesson that you would like to say, or any advice on that you learned from the events?
Everything, like, so whatever events we do, there are obviously other food partners as well. So it's always a competition on how do you bring the person to your stall. And you're competing with the likes of some very established brands, so that becomes difficult, and breaking the chain of thought for people is a little tough for us still, which we're trying to break through. So one thing is just basically make your stall look pretty as hell, have your boards, have your neon signs, have everything. So now that we have Angad on board, it just becomes very easy for us, because he takes care of the entire design aspect and he's so good at it. It's one worry of our head. And right from creatives of the menu to how we have to keep our signboards, which are in front of the stall, and our neon signs, the entire design is one of the ways to bring in people. And secondly, it's taste. You try it once, and then you're going bound to come back. So that is one aspect of it. And then you talk to people quite a lot, even if they're coming in to see. You just try to reel them in, talk to them about the menu and stuff like that, and try to get them to try it out. So yeah.
So as you said about neon lights and making your stall look more attractive, it's because people are looking for more aesthetic. People are going on more social media, and that's how you attract.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that there are different stalls, and if you can't see the stall, you're not going to end up coming to it. If it's a very dim lighted stall in the middle of two bright stalls, obviously you're not going to come. So it's like a play on your mind basically. You have to be out there, like if big sign that is in front of you, ki we are here type of deal, and then people end up coming. That's what it is.
जितना visible दिखोगे उतना ज्यादा.
Yeah, that's about it. You have to kind of be very, very visible. Like, one thing is that we are not at all worried about our food, because since we've opened, we have not had a single complaint, and everyone's been very happy about it. And we are constantly changing to do better. So the food aspect, where a lot of people are worried about, we are not. The outside parts of it is what we're trying to figure out, because we are good at food. So that's why we have other people coming on board to help us out with the aspects that surround the business and with your events and stuff like that. Slow process, working out well.
So how many in total events till now you have done approximately?
Close to about 30-ish something. 30-ish events plus then uske upar se private catering orders and stuff like that. So quite a bit. Pretty busy.
What do you think about the event industry in India right now?
It's opening up quite well. And the thing is, the bigger scale events like, for example, Lollapalooza and Sunburn, very great events to be at if you're good established brands. But if you're starting out as a brand, try not to go there because it's the competition is so much. You're going to be overwhelmed. And there's nothing wrong with the festival layout and stuff like that. Everything works well, but it's just that you yourself as a brand are probably not capable to reach up to that level in terms of their budgets and stuff like that. Like we recently were next to this one food brand which was very well established, and you could see the stark difference from a very well funded brand to a brand which is like bootlegging it from ground up. So it takes time. So play to your strengths, play with smaller festivals, smaller events, and then build your way up there is what I would suggest. Works very well that way. I mean, that's what we are doing now.
Okay, so talking about the event industry, it's booming like anything right now. You can see Diljit ka concert hua, and many concerts are coming up, and it's getting more and more hype. So, do you think the business model that you have right now will be sustainable and make you reach till maybe 50 crore rupees in the next 5 years?
Maybe, but events itself, you need to have a physical outlet. Only then, once you're established, people need to know about you. If people know about you and you're at these events and you're the person to go to, it's going to work out well. Like, for example, there's a very low down, a very Pune oriented, like, there's this restaurant called Burgers 11. It's been there forever. Like, when Pune did not have late night restaurants, they were the one there, and to date they play very low key, but they are the best at what they do. They just do burgers, late night deliveries, and they're very good at it. And something of that sort, but you need to be more out there. People need to know about you. And the age now is such key of social media and stuff like that. You're not online, people are not going to know about you. So that's the thing. And yeah, you can definitely reach that mark of 50 cr, but it's going to be a long ride in terms of building up to it. So
It's like about something getting hit. एक चीज अगर hit हो गए, then you can easily go up there.
is that one switch that needs to flip and then you're going to.
So talking about events only, if you have to register as a your brand in an event, how do you do?
So usually all events have, like, if it's a smaller scale event, the event management company have food partners on board or and stuff like that. So you directly contact the management company. You need to know the management who's handling the event. You talk to them directly, and then they put you in touch with the concerned people. So it's basically like, you get a stall, you have your lights and all that kind of stuff, and there is usually a fixed stall cost that you pay, or otherwise it's a revenue share that they do. So you don't pay for a stall cost. Whatever your sale is, it's usually a 70-30 cut. So that's how it goes, and works pretty well that way. Yeah. So all electric points and stuff is already provided. Yeah.
So it was nice talking about your journey and knowing about it. Let's go to a rapid fire round, a fun section. So let's see how it goes. Okay. If Grub Genius could collaborate with any brand, who would it be?
We all, I mean, we come from places where we've known a lot of people and very good restaurants. We would definitely love to collaborate with them. But one of them probably being Noma in Denmark. It's a very far-fetched idea, but they are too good at what they do. Yeah, so that.
What's your spirit animal in the kitchen?
I'm very quiet in the kitchen, so I really don't know. Probably a panda. I guess. I'm thinking very quiet, very calm. I don't talk too much.
Pandas are lazy too.
Yeah, I'm very lazy. I'm very very lazy. Very lazy.
Biggest culinary myth you wish just disappeared?
MSG is bad.
Okay.
It's not bad. It's there in every packaged product that you eat. People have just built this perception around it, but it's not at all bad.
A food trend you would like to bring from the past?
food trend. Probably having uncomplicated food. I like as a chef, yeah, you definitely want to push in how much ever you can on that one dish, but the simple aspect of sometimes just having food that is not complicated. Simple as is, the flavors and the ingredients speak for themselves rather than doing 10 more things to add the entire aspect to it. Yeah.
Talking about ingredients, three ingredients to make a dish.
I like a lot of aromatic ingredients. So I have a kaffir lime tattoo.
Okay.
I love kaffir lime. The fruit and the leaf, very aromatic. This is one. Second one probably would be beef
Okay.
because I'm very meat heavy and I love it. And third ingredient probably onions because you can't do without it in any dish.
Okay. If Mexican Masala and Grub Genius had a theme song, what would it be?
Theme song. Oh man. So I'm a very old school hip hop kind of guy. I listen to a lot of that. And there's this band that was called NWA back then, like Ice Cube and all these guys. They had this song called Straight Outta Compton. I probably put that because it's very bold out there.
If you could invite any chef, living or dead, with you for a night, who would it be?
Oh man, I would love to have Albert Adria. He is the brother of Ferran Adria, who started and ran this restaurant called. Oh man, how did I forget this name? What is it? Yeah, what? El Bulli. Yes, I'm so sorry. Yeah, no, it's called El Bulli.
Okay.
Very crazy restaurant back in the day. These guys are the ones who have set the modern tone for cooking. And his brother was the entire mastermind. Like he, in every 3 months, they used to come up with about 90 new dishes and like methods to do it. And everything that we do nowadays is based off of that. So having Albert Adria, too good.
So thank you for the podcast. It was amazing talking to you and knowing about it.
It's been a long time we haven't met. So yeah.
But it was a good one.
Thank you so much. Yes.